Hello everybody, how are you doing? Let's continue our Angular coding. In this session, let's take a look at how we can show a dialog. Let's take a look at this component. In this component, we have a title, which is here, and we have a button, which is here. When we click the button, it should give us this dialog. And this is the dialog we are showing. We are calling a dialog component, which is defined here. And inside, we give it a title, we give it the body. So inside this less file, we just define the button, which you are seeing here. And this button is defined inside of the shared less. So we define the appearance for the button over here. We also define some constant colors. Let's go back to the component TS file. We give the component a selector, and we will call this selector inside of this HTTP app.component.html. And this template URL it's the HTML we just saw, and then the styles is the less file we just saw. And we give it a title, and inside we define a model to this dialog component. And when we click the show dialog button, it should call this event function. Inside this event function, it will call the show method of this model, which will return us a promise object. Then we call .then. It will capture the click event from the console, OK, and from the background. Let's take a look at the dialog component. The dialog component defining a selector over here. And so inside, for each component, we are using ID. So we also have a reverse commands. It is used to reverse the click event for these two buttons. So we have these three variables to represent the cancel button, OK button, and the background. We have the visible flag and visible element, my ID. So the my ID is the ID we are using to identify the cancel button, OK button, and the background button. So each time when you create that dialog component, the ID will be increased, and then we give that ID to my ID so that we can support multiple dialogues. So let's take a look at this one. We have a show event here. It will return us the promise boolean value. And inside we set the visible equal true. When we set visible equal true, it will turn on the flag to show the dialog. And for the background object, we are get it from this ID, and also cancel button, confirm button. So inside this promise, we define 3 clicks. So we use arrow function. So each the clicks will give us a boolean value. Like for the clicks on the background, it will give us false, and the negative by default it will give a false value unless you turn on the reverse commands, and the positive it will give us true. If you turn on the reverse commands, it will give us false. So this is the background on click event. It will hide the dialog. It will trigger the abort on click. It will return the false value. This one is the negative on click, positive on click. Then at the end we return the promise. This is the hide function we are calling here. So each time we call it, we set the flag visible equal false. So if we set the visible equal false, then this model open class will be inactive, so we hide the dialog. And this part is the whole background. And this is the dialog section. So inside we have the content. So we have the title, we have the body here, we have two buttons, and these two buttons we just use hard code text for them. You can change the text with a variable or some function. When we show the buttons, we give it IDs so that we can identify which one we are clicking. And this background also have a special ID so that we can identify which dialog we are clicking. So this ID thing gives us the convenience to use multiple dialogues on one page or the same component. And let's take a look at the last file. So the last file, the background, we set it gray, and the dialog we give it a corner, define some corner. The content we just provide some margin. Yeah, the buttons, it's a flex box. We make the content to wrap when we make the window smaller like this. So it will automatically give us the responsive effects. The button we use the same mixing button. So this is the class to control the button to hide and show. And inside this HTTP component HTML, we just call the entry component, entry page, to show the dialog. That's all for this session. Thanks for watching. See you next time.